Where are we?
We are in Athens, Greece.
So we're taking a little bit of a departure from our usual Villages content to share about a trip of a lifetime. So we're going to do a series of videos based on our trip to Greece and Turkey. So I hope you'll stay tuned.
We planned this trip back in June. John turned 55, making us Villages eligible. If you've seen some of our videos about the Villages, comment below. I asked him what he wanted for his birthday. He said, really what I would like is for us to plan a trip because we've not really been traveling internationally. And I said, okay, challenge accepted.
Right, so we did plan this in June. However, right after that, we kind of discovered the Villages and got very, very distracted.
Rabbit trail.
And so we had booked one excursion.
Is that what it's called? Rabbit trail? Rabbit hole?
Rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole.
But anyway, we had booked one excursion, and I think we have 6 or 7 days in port. But what happened was we were watching Greece videos, and there's this couple that did a video in Ephesus, and we liked their video. It was a young couple that was traveling nonstop. But we started watching their videos, and they had one where they went to visit the grandmother in the Villages.
Okay, so again, we tend to get sidetracked, as you can tell. This video is about our trip to Athens,
Right.
which is where we are right now.
Right.
But we've had some hiccups along the way.
Yeah, I mean, they were all solved, obviously, because we're here. So Sunday, we were driving down to our niece's baptism, about a 2-hour drive from Lexington. It was 24 hours before the flight, so we had just checked in for the flight.
I was driving. He
Yeah.
was checking us in for the flight, checking our bags in, all
Yeah.
the things.
And probably within an hour, we get all these notices, like from the app.
We'd gone to our church in Lexington, hit the road pretty quickly to make it to my niece's baptism because it was about 2 hours away. So I'm driving along. He's checked us all in. I think everything's all hunky-dory. All of a sudden, I hear him going, oh, that's not good. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, and so what had happened was I got notice that Delta was issuing a weather waiver. We were flying from Cincinnati to JFK to Athens. And there was, I guess, a nor'easter coming into the northeastern United States. And so Delta was being proactive and saying, hey, we're going to do a weather waiver. You might want to change your plans. And I used to travel a lot for work, and so they don't just
Willy-nilly do
right,
that.
yeah, because I mean that means you can cancel your flight without penalty, that you can get full credit, you can change things around, like all the things they usually charge you nickel and dime you for, or 50 and 100 you for. They waive all that because they know they're about to have a cluster, and so they give you some flexibility. And also from traveling a lot, we know that you have to jump on these things before other people do. I called them right away, and it said it would be faster to
Deal with them
initiate
through
it.
text.
Right, through text, which said has been working well with Delta lately. And Becca's driving, I'm texting away.
We're in Podunk, Kentucky.
Yeah,
like in and out of valleys and hills.
Yeah. I just about have it worked out. And
Right, he was switching us to go through Atlanta, Georgia instead.
Right. And
he's like, I think this will work, and the times work, and everything's working.
Yeah,
so I was like, oh.
So everything was looking pretty good.
Again, I hear the, oh no.
Right. And so what had happened was, we have T-Mobile. They're good for international, but they're bad for Kentucky. Go figure. It'll work in Turkey, but it won't work in central Kentucky. And so there's this one area in Kentucky where whenever we're driving through on the way to see some family, we just flat out lose signal for probably 15 minutes.
We hit the pocket.
Right. We had just come up on the edge of this area. And so Becca's like, what do I do? And I was like, well, just keep going. Because I was like, well, the signal will return, I know, in 15 minutes. But then all of a sudden it dawned on me, or dawned on her, that I was in the midst of this chat and solving this problem.
I mean, you've been on those chats before where you've lost connection or something, and then they'll be like, are you still there?
Right, that person's not going to know to wait.
Disconnect.
Yeah, they aren't going to know to wait 15 minutes.
I'm trying to find a place to turn around. I mean, this is just, like I said, Podunk, Kentucky. There aren't businesses. I'm just looking for somebody's driveway, and it's curvy, and...
Yeah, we probably had to go a mile just to find a driveway to turn around.
I found a safe place to turn around, and then hightailed it back until he got signal again. And then I was like, well, do I keep driving? He's like, well, it's kind of spotty. We went to high ground and found a high driveway. And to the people who were doing the yard work, we're not weirdos. I mean, we might be weirdos, but we weren't doing anything nefarious. We were just literally trying to get our text to go through.
I mean, it might be weird, though, that we're sitting in their driveway trying to get to our Greek cruise. That probably doesn't happen every day.
On the way to baptism.
Right. Long story short, or
short story
long, yeah. We got it done.
We had 15 minutes built in for the baptism, travel cushion, and so we rolled in, right before it started, so it was all good.
Right, we got there with 1 minute to spare. Crisis averted, but
it was still kind of stressful because I was still showing multiple tickets. Like, they still had me ticketed through JFK, but also through Georgia, and I'm like, even when we got to the airport the next day, they said, which ticket are you flying on? I'm like, this is not good, and I'm really worried about our checked luggage.
There were lots of flights that were canceled
from the Northeast, or going through the Northeast.
Yeah, and then actually the people that we ended up sitting next to on the plane, nice couple from New Jersey. Yeah,
Grace.
they were flying through Boston was what they were supposed to do. And so they ended up flying, like they had to make a same day decision. Flying
Same hour decision.
Right. So they ended up jumping on a plane to Atlanta, ended up on our plane from Atlanta to Athens. They had a few days before their cruise, so they're going on a river cruise that had several days before. So I'm sure they'll get their luggage before the cruise, but
Or she's got some shopping to do.
Yeah. So travel tips from that are, when you book stuff, sign up for every form of notification from that airline. Because like I said, we got 2 or 3 alerts all within a few minutes. And then when you get the alerts, then jump into action.
Right, because they're going to try to accommodate a lot of people, so you want to have more flexibility and choices. So
Right.
the faster you move, the more choices you'll have.
Right. When I used to travel a long time ago, there are a lot more empty seats on planes than there are now. And so the problem is that when things happen now, it has massive ripple effects, because if you have a plane of 200 people and you cancel the flight, you know, you've got to do something with those 200 people. And
you have crew issues if they're, grounded for a while for weather, taking time out and all that sort of thing.
Right. And if the average flight has fewer probably than 10 seats open, what do you do with 200 people? It takes days to recover sometimes. So
we were very blessed and fortunate. I mean, we were stressed out. I was stressed out about the travel thing because of the weather, but we got it worked out quickly. We ended up with the front row seat where you had a lot of extra leg room. Didn't have access to our stuff. We had to put, all of our things in the overhead bins, which I don't like. I like to be able to see it and get to it. But, it was nice to be able to get up and down and not have to squeeze past people or have people reclining.
And me at my towering height of nearly 5'10", I appreciated that extra leg room. And you tall guys out there can feel
relate,
that. Yeah. I mean, I actually had trouble reaching the wall. It's so far away.
Anyway, we were very blessed to get that all worked out. So we had an 11-hour flight, slept a little bit. Food I thought was pretty good on the flight.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I mean,
that dessert was really good.
Yeah. So they had given us dinner and then a little kind of breakfast snack thing this morning. So the flight went pretty well.
Super smooth. It was super smooth,
relatively smooth. So very thankful for that. But also, as we were getting ready to travel, we had friends who were traveling from Athens. We were like missing each other by a day or two. And she messaged me saying, "Oh, FYI, our hotel told us there's going to be a strike." So apparently, public transportation worker strike with demonstrations, and it was set for Tuesday, which was when we were scheduled to land. So our plan, we had researched, was to, from the airport, hop on a metro line and basically make it to our hotel within walking distance, because the traffic in Athens is supposed to be terrible. Ubers and taxis can be expensive. Our friend who was there took a taxi ride to her hotel, her first experience in Athens. They basically cheated her and took all of the euros that she had. She really got ripped off, so we were already kind of nervous about that. Really thankful for our hotel being close to the metro line. We're like, this is perfect. And then she sends us the message that there's going to be a strike. And everything that we researched after that and people that we talked to seemed to say, no, you're not going to be able to take the metro from the airport. So we kind of resigned ourselves to doing Uber.
We did. But then the weird thing was, we got to the airport and asked some guys working there, actually police officers, about the strike. And they're like, no, the metro's running. It'll run until 5 p.m. And it was 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. or something like that. And so we're like, well, let's walk over there and see. So we walked over there.
The metro, I felt like our experience was fine. It was a little confusing, but the signs are generally in Greek and English. It can be a little hard to tell. They don't always consistently translate it the same, which caused a little bit of panic. But the ones from the airport, they had a place for the luggage, because it was like a 40-minute ride in, maybe.
Yeah, that's
pretty long ride.
I forgot to pay attention, but that's about what
from
the
airport to the city center.
And we actually did stand. I'm sure we probably could have gotten a seat if eventually, but it was.
And the further we went closer into the city, the more crowded it got. So it was a little hectic because I packed too much to get our stuff and maneuver out toward the doors, but we made it. And most of it was escalator on the way up, except for the last third, and then we had to old-fashioned carry our suitcases up.
Yeah. So I mean, from what we've seen, if somebody's like in a wheelchair situation or something like that,
or if you don't do well with walking on uneven surfaces and up and down, and if you're taking a lot of luggage, you might just want to pay for an Uber at the airport, or you can arrange a private transfer. When we looked into that, private transfers were about double what an Uber would cost, but they're also there, standing there holding a sign with your name on it. So
that was kind of our plan C, and actually did it well, except for, it turns out, walking distance with all our luggage for the cruise
And their sidewalks aren't smooth.
No, they aren't.
They're like tile, like
it's an
little
old-
tiny square grouted tile.
It's an old
So-
city.
Not cobblestone, but like smaller. So every little
Yeah.
and broken and
Yeah, and so it was going to be like a
45-minute walk, I think it said on the Google Maps.
something like that, or 34.
Because we were along a big road, and at some point the sidewalk disappeared, so you had to really kind of curve out and walk around.
Yeah.
So we walked for a while, huffing and puffing, rolling these suitcases in our backpacks, and I think John made the executive decision that we would Uber the rest of the way.
Yeah, I thought it was a good test too, because they don't really have Uber here. What they do is you can use the Uber app to get the taxis. So, and it turns out that's how you keep from getting ripped off.
Right, because then your fare is set.
But anyway, you book it through the Uber app, and it's a lot like, it's pretty much the same as in Kentucky or in the U.S., except for it's a taxi that pulls up to get you.
A licensed taxi driver.
But you can see the price beforehand on the Uber app.
It's a very short ride.
Yeah, we only went like 1.2 miles or something.
But
like
it would
that.
have taken us a long time on foot with those suitcases.
Yeah, it wasn't real walkable with the luggage.
With the luggage, it was a little challenging. So we're here, we're tired. I think all's good.
Yep. So we're gonna try to get a good night's sleep so we can hit it hard tomorrow.
Yeah. So we got into our room a little bit early. They let us check in early, so we walked around a little bit, took a little bit of a nap, went up for dinner. Now we're gonna kind of rearrange our luggage and make our plan for tomorrow morning so that we can hit the ground running. Another suggestion for you if you're traveling. A lot of times we do carry-on only because we don't like to check bags. We don't like to pay for them. We don't like to wait for them to come off. We did have to wait forever, it seemed like today, to get our luggage off the carousel. But anyway, carry on if you can. But if you are checking a bag, which this is a pretty long trip for us, so we wanted, like bigger size sunscreen and all that. And we're going on a cruise where we're doing excursions during the day, lots of walking, but then have to kind of dress up for dinner. So it's like multiple outfits, multiple shoes. We just have a lot of luggage and I overpacked. I fully admit it. But anyway.
I prefer to wear multiple shoes. I find one annoying.
But our hint, especially because, like our experience and our seatmates' experience showed, sometimes travel plans change, whether you want them to or not. And sometimes last minute. And like our friends were worried about getting their luggage. We weren't so much worried about ours. I mean, we wanted ours to get here, but I insisted on having multiple outfits for each of us in our 2 carry-on bags, so that in the event our 2 check bags were lost and it took a day or 2 to get to us, or even if we didn't get them before we got on the ship, we'd have a few outfits and shoes selection that we could at least rotate. So always want to pack your medication, supplements, anything, toiletries that you need. But I always think it's great to put a few things of each person to carry on.
And here's another thing too, because this just happened to my mom a few months ago. Car keys. So my mom was taking a direct flight from Florida to Louisville, Kentucky, and had her key fob in her check bag. Didn't really think anything of it, even though they always tell you to get your keys and stuff like that. She's like, it's a direct flight. Didn't even think twice about it. Gets to Louisville, her suitcase never shows up. And so she had to call, she didn't have a way to, her car was there at the airport, but she didn't have a way to get her car. And so she had to call my sister.
And then go back and get her car later with the extra suitcase.
So it was a whole bunch of extra driving just because of that one mistake.
Carry on.
But I've certainly made before too. I mean, because it's just, especially with a direct flight, you're like, how did they lose your bag?
But carry on whenever you can. But if you're going on a longer trip and for some reason you need, like we've been to weddings and stuff before and things where you've got tuxedos and stuff to travel with. But if you need it, right? But travel with carry on only if you can. But if you have to check bags, and if you're checking multiple bags, we always put some of his stuff in my bag and some of my stuff in his bag, so that if one bag gets lost, both of us still have some things. I don't like that because I don't like to share my bag. I like it to be organized, but it makes it better, if something gets lost and you only have one bag, at least it's not one person who has all their clothes and the other person doesn't.
And it's not just getting lost. We had a bag that was inexplicably soaked.
Wet.
Yeah, like the other one wasn't. That one was. We're like, what happened?
No, did they just drop it in a puddle? It was weird.
It was really weird. So, I don't know, but things happen.
Yeah. All right. So look for more videos, and we're excited about this trip.
We'll keep you posted. I'm John.
And I'm Becca.
And what in the world
will we do next?
Yes, and we're tired. We probably look tired.
Sorry for the bad background. We're in a typical European hotel, very small. It's very nice.
Yeah.
But our stuff is everywhere because we just kind of exploded in here when we got here.
Yeah, we're going from this to a cruise, and this room seems small, but I have a feeling the cruise will seem even smaller.
Keep watching, because
we're going to some Greek islands.
what in the
Oh, we're doing that again. I didn't know we were doing that again.
I'm glad they don't hear you whispering. All right, so,
What in the world?
no, who are you?
I'm John.
And I'm Becca.
And what in the world?
Will we do next?